Welcome to my channel. Are you feeling stuck in your English learning journey? We all have busy lives and only a few minutes to spare, but fluency is achievable. In this video, we will follow a friend's story and learn together. You will see how small steps can lead to big progress. We will cover building vocabulary, practicing even when you are short on time, speaking confidently, real-life conversations, learning with movies and music, and finding motivation to keep going. Let's grab a notebook and have fun learning English together. Building your vocabulary, and we meet Alex, a busy office worker who has just started learning English at his own pace point one day. He goes shopping after work. In the cleaning aisle, he sees a big sign that says M-O-P with a picture of a mop. Without thinking, he reads the sign quickly in his head and confidently tells his friend beside him, "Look, they sell a map there for cheap." His friend smiles kindly and says, "Alex, it is a mop, not a map." Alex realizes his mistake at once. His cheeks become warm, and his heart beats a little faster. But then he smiles. He reminds himself that making mistakes is okay. IT just means he is learning. He feels excited and knows he has learned a new word today. Every mistake is a chance to learn, and Alex is glad he pointed out at the store. Later at home, Alex practices these new words again. He sits at his desk by the window with a small notebook and a pencil. On one page, he writes the word mop and draws a little picture of a mop that on the next page. He writes the word map and draws a simple map of a town. He says each word out loud as he writes. He closes his eyes and imagines walking down a street in another country with a map in his hand. Then he imagines cleaning the kitchen floor with a mop. After dinner, he speaks out loud, "Map, mop." Saying words out loud helps him remember better. Sometimes, he even draws a little cartoon or a smiley face next to the word to make the practice more fun. By repeating and writing, he makes the word stick in his memory. Alex loves learning with stories. I end this chapter. We also see Alex's friend Maria practicing English. Maria and Alex compare funny mistakes at lunch. Maria once mixed up dessert and desert. She said, "I want to see the desert," but meant the sweet treat, dessert. After dinner, they laugh at the picture of a cake in the hot, sandy desert. Maria writes both words in her notebook, too. Dessert, a sweet cake. Desert, a dry place. She repeats, dessert, dessert, desert, desert. They practice together until Maria can say the right word with the right meaning easily. They use their notebooks and drawings, and each mistake becomes a joke and a lesson. A helpful teacher appears in Alex's story. She has a warm smile and lots of colorful cards. The teacher suggests using flashcards or sticky notes around the house. Alex makes a quick flashcard on a small piece of paper. On one side, he writes bench, and on the other side, he draws a little park bench with a stick figure sitting. During his next break at work, he pulls out the flashcard and looks at it. He says the word bench out loud and imagines sitting on that bench in a park. He repeats bench. The teacher says to try this with other items. Pen, phone, cup. Slowly, his notebook fills with drawings and words for things around him as he practices and says them out loud. By the end of chapter 1, Alex has created a simple, fun learning habit. He carries that small notebook everywhere and writes down any new English words he hears or sees. Every evening, he writes down 5 new words he learned that day. Even if he only has a few minutes, he might write store, lunch, driver, or any word that felt new. He draws a little picture or symbol next to each word to help remember it. Then, before going to sleep, he quietly reads the words and says them out loud. He might even stand and say them again once more. IT is not a heavy study session, just a friendly chat with himself. At times, he feels shy or silly when he says the words out loud, but each time he finishes, he smiles because he knows he learned something new. Chapter 2. Practicing on a busy schedule. Chapter 2 shows how Alex practices English even though his days are very full. Point 1 morning. Alex wakes up before sunrise. He quickly gets dressed in his suit and prepares a very quick breakfast. He brushes his teeth, and while the mint toothpaste foams, he sneaks in a short English lesson. He opens a voice recorder on his phone and repeats a simple sentence. "Good morning. How are you?" He says it slowly and clearly 2 times while brushing his teeth. Then he rinses and looks in the mirror. "Great job," he tells himself. Every minute counts. Alex reminds himself as he checks the clock and hurries to leave. Even this small step makes him feel a bit more confident to start his day. Before heading out the door, Alex glances at a sticky note on his bathroom mirror. On it, he has written the word breakfast. He says that word out loud with a smile. IT reminds him why he started learning. To one day order his meal in English with no fear. With his coffee in hand, he leaves the house. On the way to work, Alex catches a bus. He listens to an English podcast about the weather. The host speaks slowly, and Alex hears familiar words like sunny and rain. When he encounters a new word, he pauses and writes it on a piece of paper in his pocket. He silently repeats the new word to himself as the bus rattles down the road. After a few days, he recognizes that word next time he hears in the podcast. This small practice during his commute adds up to real learning, and Alex feels proud of himself. At lunch break, Alex has about 1 hour. He spends just a few minutes of that time on English. While eating a sandwich, he takes out his phone and opens a short lesson in his language app. The lesson has 6 new vocabulary words. He reads them quickly and repeats each one quietly. He also tries to make a sentence with one of the words before putting his phone down. His co-worker Julia notices him practicing and sits next to him. She plays along too, and they make a little game out of it. They each quiz the other with a flashcard. Alex giggles when Julia mixes up 2 words, and she laughs when he mispronounces more times. 1. After 5 quick minutes of this fun quiz, Alex closes the app and enjoys the rest of his meal, feeling relaxed. Even those few minutes helped a lot. After work, Alex is usually tired, but he still finds joy in small English moments. In the kitchen, while preparing dinner, he turns on an English song he likes. He sings along quietly to the tune. When he hears a phrase like, "I love you," he repeats it softly and pretends to sing it to himself for fun. He sometimes shouts a line with energy. One evening, the song said, "Let's dance all night," and Alex grabbed a wooden spoon and danced in the kitchen, saying those words. His dog barked and wagged its tail as if to join the music. Alex feels a little happier and says, "That was fun and good practice." He writes down one phrase from the song on a sticky note and puts it on his fridge. When he sees it the next morning, he says out loud again. One surprising day, Alex notices how much he has learned on a tight schedule. He realizes he can have a short conversation without struggling as much. For example, he recently gave a quick direction in English to a coworker, and it felt natural that he whispers to himself. Even 5 minutes of practice adds up. He might feel frustrated sometimes, but each micro step is a success. Alex smiles and thinks, "I can do this, even when I'm busy." He goes to bed proud that he turned tiny moments into English lessons and ready to find even more little practice opportunities tomorrow. Chapter 3. Speaking with Confidence Chapter 3 is all about finding the courage to speak English out loud. One morning, Alex has a work meeting where he needs to introduce himself in English to a new colleague. He feels nervous because his heart is beating fast. He practiced his head all night, but he still hears a tiny voice of fear. His co-worker Julia notices Alex looking anxious. She gives him a reassuring smile and says, "You can do it." When it is Alex's turn to speak, he stands up and clears his throat. He says slowly, "Good morning. I'm Alex from the marketing team." His voice is shaky at first, but then it gets steadier as he goes on. He had practiced that introduction many times at home, and now it feels more natural. He even adds a small joke about how everyone loves coffee. The meeting laughs at his joke, and Alex feels happier and realizes he did it. He answers a question about the project, finishing a full sentence without pausing. His hand stays still, and he sits down feeling relieved and excited. Julia gives him a big thumbs up and says, "See? You did great." Alex smiles and quietly says, "I did it." Later that day at lunch, Alex sits outside a small cafe. He decides to order his coffee in English. He tells the waiter, "I would like a medium latte, please." The waiter smiles and replies slowly, "Anything to eat with that?" Alex thinks of the special sandwich on the menu. In English, he pronounces, "Yes, I'll have the grilled cheese, please." The waiter nods. Alex thanks the waiter politely, saying, "Thank you." The waiter replies, "You're welcome," and Alex notices he pronounced it correctly. He then waves to Julia and says, "See you later," as the waiter goes away. As he eats, Julia sits next to him and they practice together. Alex realizes he had said go instead of went earlier when talking, and he laughs and corrects himself softly. These small moments of speaking and correcting make him feel like he is learning from each conversation. Home in the evening, Alex continues his speaking practice in a fun way. He stands in front of the mirror and reads a short story aloud to himself. He exaggerates each word and tries to say it clearly. Sometimes he jokes to his reflection, "Hello, Alex. You sound good today." He records himself on his phone and watches it back. He does tongue twisters like red leather, yellow leather, slowly, and feels proud when he gets them right. This mirror practice makes him smile and improves his confidence. He hears himself speak more fluently than before, and each little success gives him a boost. Chapter 3 also shows that mistakes are okay. For example, Alex once tried to ask his grandmother a simple question in English. He said, "Do you like to go water?" Meaning waterfall from a story they read. His grandmother looked puzzled, and Alex realized he forgot a word. They laughed, and he explained it. He looked up waterfall and practiced saying it, waterfall, 3 times. The next time he talked to his grandmother, he remembered it correctly, and both of them were happy. Sometimes, they even tell each other little jokes in English during their video calls. He also shares a funny mistake with Julia, and they both laugh about it. These mistakes become learning moments. By the end of Chapter 3, Alex has felt some highs and lows. He was scared at the meeting at first, but ended up speaking clearly. He stumbled on a phrase at the cafe, but then fixed it and learned from it. He feels like he grew more confident with each little chat in English. Before going to bed, he says to himself, "I am getting braver every day." He even decides to write a short sentence in an English journal tomorrow. He thinks, step by step, bit by bit, I can do it. Alex lies in bed feeling proud that he has been brave speaking English today. He drifts off, excited for the next day. He even dreams in English as he falls asleep. Chapter 4. Real-life conversations. Chapter 4 follows Alex as he uses English in everyday situations. One Saturday morning, Alex goes to a local market to buy groceries. The vendor is from another country and speaks only English. Slowly, Alex is a bit nervous, but he remembers to use simple words and gestures. He greets the vendor, "Good morning." Then, while pointing at vegetables, he says, 1 kilo of tomatoes, please." The vendor nods and replies, "Kilo of tomatoes. And anything else?" Alex smiles and answers, "Yes, 2 apples, please." He pays with a $10 bill and says, "Thank you." The vendor replies, "You're welcome." Alex grins, proud he used polite words correctly. Later, Alex meets his friend Maria at a cafe. They decide to keep speaking only in English for the rest of their meal. Maria asks, "What do you usually eat for lunch?" Alex answers, "I usually have a salad or a sandwich." He writes new words on a napkin whenever one of them forgets. Today it was recipe. Maria pronounces a tough word first, and Alex helps her say it correctly. Alex tries a new phrase. "Can you pass the salt?" They giggle when Alex mispronounces one word, but Maria gently corrects him, and he says it correctly. Their conversation includes sharing funny stories and practicing new phrases together. If one of them forgets a word, they look it up or write it down and learn from it. Even in casual chat, they find English practice moments. One afternoon at work, Alex gets an email in English from a client who asks for a meeting time. Instead of forwarding it, Alex tries to reply himself. He writes, "Thank you for your email. How about Monday at 2 p.m.? He double-checks the wording and even uses his phone to translate one tricky word. Then he asks a native speaker co-worker to review it. The co-worker suggests a small improvement, and Alex learns a better phrase. He finally sends an email and feels proud that he handled it himself. Later, his manager notices and says, "Good job on that email." Alex smiles at himself, excited that a real work task uses English. Chapter 4 also shows using English in unexpected places. At the train station, Alex practices buying a ticket with the agent. He says, "I would like a ticket to the next town, please." The agent smiles and helps him. Another time, He helps a lost tourist by showing directions. He says to the tourist, "Walk straight and turn left at the corner." The tourist thanks him, and Alex happily replies, "No problem." He even notices signs around him. He sees exit on a door and reads it aloud to practice. He checks a ticket machine, selecting English options to buy a ticket to the city. Each small real-life conversation, at the market, the cafe, work, or the station, shows Alex using English in the world beyond study time. By the end of Chapter 4, Alex feels that English is not just for study sessions. It's part of everyday life now. He still sometimes hesitates or confuses words, like once he said tomatoes as tomalos by accident and laughed at himself. But he learns from each chat. After shopping, he tries a recipe in English and is able to read the instructions for the dinner he bought. On Sunday evening, he smiles as he writes a short message to Maria. "Great day. Good talk." He reminds himself, step by step, "I can do it." He goes to bed feeling confident and ready to practice again tomorrow.